letting people know that it's okay. Don't count yourself out. You do not have to count yourself out, even if it was a place. Honor that and be able to move forward from there.
To some, boundaries are just placing limits. To me, it's where the limitless things begin. Hello, 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 and thank you for tuning into the Boundaries and More podcast with Jess Abraham. I'm your host, Jess Abraham, and today's episode is brought to you by Joyful Styles. Joyful Styles is a lifestyle brand that provides premium quality apparel that promotes joy and positivity. Joyful Styles believes how we approach a situation matters, and choosing to be joyful makes all the difference. You have the power, and it's time to embrace it. So get your Joyful Styles apparel at joyfulstyles.com. That's JOYFULSTYLEZ.com. Man, oh man, I am super excited today. I told y'all last week I'm gonna have a surprise for y'all, and I indeed a surprise, a special, very, very special guest. I'm telling you, this woman is she's a daughter, she's an author, but I think one of her favorite titles, in my opinion, is best friend. Y'all, this is my best friend in real life. Bestie, Londyn, what's up? Talk to the people. Let's go. Let's go.
Uh, I just want to say I almost passed the plate because that was good. That was real good. I appreciate that. But thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Excited to have our little talk.
I know, right? In my mind, it's like it's just a behind the scenes for the people. Like it's how we talk and what we do on a normal basis, and the people kind of get a inside scoop, a little peek behind the curtain. So, man, I'm super excited to have you here. Finally, you. I don't know what got you to be like, yeah, let's do this. But I'm waiting for what's next. I'm gonna leave that alone and let this episode be what it's gonna be.
Yeah, let's
but
focus on
look,
the present.
but
The
look, tell
present is
us what's going on.
important in this season.
Absolutely. And speaking of this season, what's happening this season with you?
Well, this season I am uh it's new for me because I am definitely moving towards something that I've been waiting for a very, very long time. I'm transitioning out the Air Force into new adventures, and I am a little apprehensive, but more than anything, I'm excited to see what aligns for me in life, and I'm excited. I can't wait.
I'm
I really
excited for you, best friend.
I'm ready.
I'm super excited. I mean, some parts, I'm gonna leave that alone too. But overall, I'm definitely excited for you and rooting for you. You already know that. Um, so look, so today's topic, we can tell them right now, that we're gonna be talking about identifying your season. It's gonna be good.
Absolutely.
I'm so ready to really just jump in here. So what I want to say, I guess I can start it this way. Um, when we talking about identifying your season, I think first and foremost, the most important thing is to really be truthful, better yet, radically honest with where you
Oof.
are in that
That's
season.
a hard one. That's a hard
That-
one.
it's
Some
it's true.
seasons it's harder to look at in the mirror than others.
100%. Look, when you talk about that though, I'm gonna let you elaborate on what you're saying. But I'll tell you one personal experience. Um, had to be, I don't know, over a year ago now,
Mm-hmm.
probably a year and a half, whatever it was. Your girl, started gaining weight. And I started gaining weight, and I started looking at literally just the simple things, right, in the season. Um, in that season for me, size small shirts weren't doing it no more,
Mm.
right? So I had to be honest about that. And what did I do? I had to beat me and the wife called it. We had to go out and get our big girl clothes. We had to change that because it
That's right.
again in that season it just wasn't working for us. We love to travel. We travel all the time, but we started to think about like, you know what? I don't even want to go nowhere because we had all these clothes that just weren't fitting us no more, right? So
Right.
really identifying and being radically honest, like, okay, babe, we gotta let these clothes go. It's time to go get some feel good big girl clothes. So we're gonna do that. And that's what we did to help us through that particular season. I mean, now I'm happy to say my big girl clothes are a little big on me. So it's working, and I'm switching gears. But what do you got to say about that, best friend?
There's a lot to say about that. I think that definitely one, I want to just commend you for identifying that and making a choice to do better. That's good.
Absolutely.
So looking
Absolutely.
forward to our walk. Secondly, I definitely I can understand where you're coming from with the being able to identify the season that you're in is because it takes something within us that is just like, hey, I know something is out of place here, so I need to be able to one get my mind in a place where I can truly reflect on what's going on within me, right? Second thing is once I know what that is, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to keep looking in the
Mhm.
mirror and say, oh, well, making excuses for myself, or am I really going to say, hey, this is on me to do the work? So I've been at that place several times, and I think we do throughout the course of life. You have to continue to reinvent yourself, continue to grow. Um, yeah, so that's my take on that.
Absolutely. And that was so good. Like, yeah, I love it. I love it. Look, what I want to do, I don't want to hog the mic. I'm used to being here solo and I can go have a great time. But is this something in particular that you want to let the people know when it comes to identifying their season? And yeah, we can, if you want, get into some practical stuff or whatever. It looks like I'm kind of giving the floor to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
I think one, like you said, it takes being completely honest with yourself. I think too
Mhm.
many times, especially in today's society, we are always looking to pass the buck on, well, it was this person, it was this relationship, it was this person at work, it was this job, it was this city, but when are you really going to say, hey, it was actually me, you know? Like that is really
Absolutely.
a hard thing to do. One, it's because it's an unfamiliar place that even if you do own up to whatever it is in that season, maybe you don't know the next step of where to go from there. And sometimes that can
Mhm.
be a little scary on the other side, not knowing what's on the other end. So I think it's just for me, um, when I found myself in those dark places, because sometimes it can get really dark, um, what I had to do was say, "Hey, own up to it myself," and then say, "I need help." That was the second thing for me, to say, "I need help. I cannot, as much willpower as I have, as much prayer, as much as I want to say, look back at these pictures or where I've been, past accomplishments. It's like, hey, that's the past.
Mhm.
That is not today. This is where I'm at in this season, and in this season I'm acknowledging that I need some help to get me to the next step."
Yes. Yes, I love it. Well said. Well said. I was going to go somewhere, but I'll wait. I'll wait.
I'll wait too.
Because
We gonna wait. I got time
look,
today.
that's right. We schedule this time. It's important. Y'all put this stuff on the calendar. We can, yeah. Anyway, um, so when you mentioned like really like looking in a sense just looking within, right,
Hmm.
really pointing the finger kind of at yourself and not just everywhere else, right? Recently I was listening to this podcast, and it was talking about how um the one of the women was saying that when she, again, we talking about all this different stuff and looking within, some people do that through therapy. Just want to put that
Okay.
out there first. But the woman was like, okay, she's going to therapy, and at first it was all about just going there to tell on people, right? It wasn't about looking within. It wasn't about working on what, just going there to
Yeah.
really tell on people. And I found that funny. And the host found it funny too, because literally that's what people do. They want to point their fingers. Well, it ain't me. It's this person and it's that. It's all these outside things versus
Right.
just like, hey, why am I here? Why am I in this spot? Or where am I really? Again, coming back to being radically honest. Like, you won't get anywhere if you don't truly identify where you are and look
Yeah.
to where you want to go. You just stay stuck in the same spot. You wonder why this. You might have this victim mentality. Why me? Why is this happening? Like, it shouldn't be this way, etc. Like, you have options. You have a choice always, regardless of what that looks like. And I truly believe that.
And I also think it's important to know that the fall is not going to look like the summer. The winter may not look like the spring. So it's okay if you don't have it all figured out. It's okay if, hey, I'm just owning up to what I can do today.
Yeah.
Let's make this a present situation. Let's honor, those steps today. And then as you move forward and progress, you gain that confidence to be like, oh, hey, my next season is going to be awesome. My next season is going to be great. My next season is going to be the life changing one. So
Amen.
um that's where I'm able to continue to find joy, and knowing that even if I don't have it figured out, there's there may be work in this season right now, but next season it may be full of rest. It may be,
Mhm.
full of peace, and those are the things that give me, happiness. It gives me that internal motivation to keep on going. Being able to talk to someone who has a like mind, like my best friend, to be able to say,
Let's
hey,
go.
you know what? Even in this season, it may be rocky, but I'm gonna hold your hand until you get to the next season. So that's important to me, and it gives me that little extra push when those days start to look a bit weary.
I know that's right. I love it. Look, I actually do want to jump into this. This is going to be a kind of surprise to you. I know it is, but
Okay.
that's what we do sometimes. Just gracious. It's going to be a good surprise. Yeah, I
All
told
right.
you all. My bestie is an author. Got her book right here. You know, and it's one of
Yeah.
the things that really stood out to me. I was going through this, and I went back through it, especially when I knew we was going to be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to read this, and we can go from there. You see where I'm going. I think you will. You my best. All right. It's
Okay.
called Lost Art. Okay.
Oof.
Say, I had to lose you in order to get to the next level. I found myself loving me more. That was the best part. The road to love ourselves is a lost art. Forgive yourself for counting yourself out while adding others in. Digging beyond the surface is how the journey begins. Let's get into that.
Do it. Do it.
Yo,
I
listen.
know I have a best friend. I really
First, we gotta
do.
hit the plug first. Returning to
Yeah.
love, London. Okay.
On all the platforms, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Go tap in with that.
Yeah, get that
If
book today.
a little love, if you need
Yeah.
to seek that foundation. No, when it's funny that you bring that up, because I am working on my second book, to follow up with my debut book, Returning to Love. So um, I'm very excited about that, and it kind of transitions into this next season that I am in currently.
Mhm.
That book, it was so therapeutic for me to write, and it was really a realization that, hey, sometimes you got to get back to the foundation, because if you keep what I found was I kept finding myself in some of the same seasons. So I was like, okay, what am I missing? What lesson am I not getting, this time? So
Yeah.
um that was just a beautiful way for me to be share, the things that I learned with others, to share, some of my artistry. And I like to call myself a community server, this best friend. So that was my way of just sharing, some of the love that I have, because I do think that it's a big piece of what we are purpose for in this life, is to share love and to be able to build each other up and grow, whatever seasons we're in, knowing that someone is there for you, and most importantly, knowing that you are there for yourself. That's the
Absolutely.
biggest thing that we count on, right?
Absolutely. Because it's the number one person that you always with is you.
Yeah, you
Always.
spend a lot
Everywhere you go, you are there.
everywhere. Everywhere. Hey, it's you again.
everywhere. You might think you might hang with your bestie a lot. You might think you're hanging with your
Right.
spouse a lot and whatever. You with you all the time. They ain't with you all
Mhm.
the time. Like now, me and my wife together a lot. But she not here right
Mhm.
now. She getting her hair did, okay? So I'm here with me.
Okay.
I'm here, too. But for the most part, I'm
Right.
here with me all day. And yeah, so that's definitely so, so important. Coming back to that foundation. It's always the you in that. All
And I
right.
also
So go ahead.
best friend.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that sometimes I think we avoid those spaces
Mhm.
of really looking inward because it's uncomfortable. It's not a comfortable place that you're, voluntarily saying, "Hey, I want to be in this uncomfortable place for an infinite amount of time," right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's just, hey, going in, it's that it's that under table to deal like, hey, I can't give you no promises of when this is going to be the end, but what I can tell you is it's not always going to be like this, right? um,
Absolutely.
so there's different things that really helped me to get to that space. It was a lot of reflection, right? Self-reflection, a lot of meditation. I really when I started that book, I was in Hawaii,
Mhm.
so it was a beautiful place to explore nature,
Right.
be able to meditate, be able to turn inward back into my body, doing things that were good to my body as far as like working out, daily affirmations, shaking it in the living room, whatever that looked like. Like, it was really good for me. It was really good for me. I found myself just being really fruitful, not just as far as art, but at work. In my relationships, I seen a turn. In
Mhm.
my um, daily habits, it was just really beneficial for me, and it started with being able to look in the mirror and say, "Hey, something is off here. We need to get back in balance."
Right. So if, the people listening right now, they're avid listener, repeat listener, they may have heard an episode that I kind of briefly talked about when I went out there to Hawaii and spend, was like there like 8 days or so with you out
Yep.
there, how the peace it brought, the whatever. So I don't know about you, but I think the environment may have something to do with it, may
A lot.
have helped you like, okay, good. With that self-reflection. It's so easy to be, for me anyway, to be at peace there. If you're there and you're like miserable, something is terribly wrong because
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
much that you can do to just be at peace. You just walk outside and you breathe peace. Like, I don't
And
know. Again.
that's something that I thought about the other day, as I make this new transition into
Mhm.
a season. I will be moving away from Texas and, t- taking my talents where. So while
I'm sad
there
about
is,
that, y'all.
while there, while about that, there's joy, right? And being
Mhm.
able to create a newness in something. I do think that one thing that I would recommend to everyone is to find your pocket of joy, right? And it doesn't always have to be what you're familiar with. It could be trying something new. It could be trying. Recently, I just started golf, and I'm so excited. I'm not the best, by the way. I
You don't have
definitely
to
get,
be.
but it gives you like this new joy, right? It gives you a
Mhm.
new peace. So whatever it is, it doesn't have to be something that you spend a lot of money on. It could be, hey, I want to try making new recipes. I want to try a new sport. I want to actually get out and socialize and not just talk on the internet. I think that's a lost art too. Like, be
Mhm.
with other people that want to experience the same thing. So those are some of the things that really work for me in helping to elevate, myself. I'm like, wow, Lon Boogie, you looking a little brighter. Your face a little clear now. I said,
Got that glow.
I know you got that glow. So whatever it is to find that glow, Take time to do that. And it's okay if you pick something up and say, hey, that's not for me. I'm going to put it back down. But keep trying those things until you look in the mirror and you can actually smile. You can actually say, I am worthy. I am worthy of good things. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of joy. No matter who else doesn't agree with that, you are worthy of those things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you bring up a really great point of just what we're talking about here. You saying try new things, and if is not working for you, like do something different. It
Mhm.
might work for you in a season, right? That
Right.
certain whatever particular season that you're in, that may work for you then, but hey, you come into another season, you got to switch things up to keep things fresh, to keep being joyful, right?
I-
To really get in there. So I'm glad you mentioned that because that's so important. Like one of the things I learned, and especially like you know how I am. One of my favorite things to do, honestly, is coach, right?
right.
And being a coach, boundaries coach, a life coach, all this, being these things, and like one of the things that I struggled with before is kind of like settling down on a particular niche, right? And I'm just like,
Mm.
okay, so what area do I want to focus on? Whatever, what is it that I want to do? And one of the things that I learned, and one of the things that really stuck with me, is that like, this ain't marriage. You dating these things. You can date this niche right now, and if you don't like it, okay, on to the next thing.
It,
We don't
it's
have to make long-term commitments.
Yeah, and even if you want to try two things at once, that's okay too.
Yeah,
Like,
hey, we
let me
I
clarify.
compared it to dating, best friend, and you saying try two things. Oh,
Okay,
okay, I'm gonna leave that
so
alone.
all right, clarifying, trying two new hobbies, not two.
Okay, y'all got
Okay,
that new hobbies.
for
Okay,
clarity.
not two people,
Uh,
not two.
Yeah, hobbies, not people. Hobbies, not people. There's a big line there, right?
I just wanted to clear it up for the people. I relate. I did a data analogy, and you went straight. Hey, if you want to do two at once, let's go. Like,
Thank you for the clarity. Let's. Um, no, but um, I think it's okay to some people feel like, oh, I really have to be the best at this one thing before I move on to something else. And
hmm
sometimes I think the things that you learn trying new things is you learn about a lot about yourself. Like with me, with golf, for example, you have to be very patient, right? It's
hmm
not this quick progress as if like maybe with weightlifting or maybe with running you get down these certain mechanics, right, and you're able to increase your endurance, increase your speed, and all these things, right? So there's something about the patience, giving yourself that patience and giving
hmm
yourself grace in every season. I think is so important because sometimes I felt like in the beginning of like really tapping into healing and my growth journey, I would get so frustrated that I'm like, oh man, I'm not there yet. Not, there being this place expectation in my
That you made
mind,
up.
yeah, that I
Yeah.
created. Not like, hey, you need to be there by 1 January. Like, what? Who made this up? Like,
Mm,
you're putting that pressure on yourself.
absolutely.
So I do think that there's beauty in the journey and giving yourself grace, right? Just knowing that you are pushing, that you are, trying yourself, trying to give yourself something new, right? It's
Absolutely.
it's just a beautiful feeling to be able to turn it around, right?
Yeah.
Turn it around. Turn that thing all the way around.
Yeah.
You can really do it. Like just imagine if you start today, what your life will look like 6 months from now, what your life will look like a year from now, and you really create the life that you want. You create joy. I create joy when I call you. I said, you know
Preach.
what? Let me call my best friend and give her some joy today. She already but I'm gonna overflow that joy just a little bit,
Okay.
right? So I appreciate that. And I want to go back to something you said about the coaching, right?
hmm
About you, like, of course, everybody doesn't have a personal relationship with you. So I appreciate that I'm privy to that best friend, right?
Yes. Let's go.
So I just want to say, like, and give you your flowers that this is who you are. It's not a title. It's not a coaching thing for you. It's not
Yeah.
a oh, I'm entering this new thing, I'm going to try this out. Like, this is who you are. And from day one, literally day one that we met, it was clear, that your spirit exudes these things, these characteristics. And over time, as our friendship has built over the years, it you see it in your character. You see the joy that you give out. You see that you want others to rally people together to really love on them, to help them grow and live the best life that they can possibly be. So I just want to give you your flowers and thank you for that. Thank you for being there for me in those transitional spaces as you've been. And letting people know that it's okay. Don't count yourself out. You do not have to count yourself out, even if it was a place. Honor that and be able to move forward from there. So thank you, best friend, for being there for me in those seasons and the future.
Don't forget the future, right? Wow. Just like me, I know you've been enjoying this episode, but don't worry. We'll be back next week with part two of identifying your season with Londyn. But in the meantime, in between time, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Boundaries and More Podcast. That's on Instagram at Boundaries and More Podcast. And follow Londyn at Lon Boogie on Instagram or at Love Reinterpreted. Look, all of that'll be included in the show notes. So just go ahead and follow now and see you all next week.